May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly market forecast. I am RT Money and I'm your host, and I am happy that you are here. Thank you for watching. Hey, make sure you hit the like button and the boost button. It's, that's the way this channel grows, and I would appreciate it. All right. Make sure you leave a comment. All right. Say you like a particular pair, or you want to see me analyze a different pair, maybe a cross pair or something. I'll be happy to do it for you. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch my updates to these forecasts that I release throughout the week. Now let's get down to business. Let's look at the S&P. Now we're looking at the weekly. All right, and you can see last week closed very bullish, a very bullish candle. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention, Monday is inauguration day for President Trump. Right, and if you look back when he was inaugurated as the president in 2017 on January 20th, Friday, you'll notice over the next 14 days, all right, not the first five, not during that same week. It was kind of choppy, whatever, but you'll see that the markets kind of started to gain momentum to the upside following his inauguration. All right, and the U.S. dollar index, or the U.S. dollar currency itself, actually went the other way, turned bearish. People took their money, and put it into riskier assets because they felt confident in the rising markets, right? So I'm looking for a repeat performance, just like that, the Trump pump, if you will. So that has me. It affects my forecast. Now you'll see. All right, with a bullish finish to the week, we did not take the high of the previous week. We swept the low, and we're on our way to take that high. And I think that we'll see some continuation this week as prices look to gain some momentum to the upside. We may see some all-time highs coming. All right, and if we go to the daily, what do you see is we have a bullish fair value gap. You're going to hear me say this a couple of times in the other indices. It did not on Friday decide to use the bullish fair value gap to make higher prices. It just went. All right, and it took the previous day, Thursday's high. All right, and that shows a lot of bullish momentum, don't you think? And I would think that we'll probably come back and test that high here before going higher. I'm not sure we're coming back to this fair value gap. Let's look at the 4-hour and see if we can see anything structurally in place that may do that. Now, what I like you to notice is we have a high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I like to see stair steps. I like to see it on the way to taking out a high. Now, that is a protected high. Why is it protected? Because it was the one that broke these lows. All right. It broke structure to the downside. All right. And what you want to see, and what you hear me repeat all the time, is that once you have that bearish leg, in this case it's a bearish leg, you're looking for price. And it takes an external liquidity pool. You're looking for price to pull back into an internal liquidity pool. And that will come in the form of fair value gaps, or an area of supply in this case. And when you start to see that the bearish PD arrays, like the premium arrays, like fair value gaps, are not being respected, like this one, you start to say, we're probably going to take that protected high out. And if we take that protected high out, we're probably coming for these highs here, which are lower resistance, in my opinion. So the S&P, I am bullish in. Maybe we get a pullback before it starts to turn up, and I think that's where we're heading for those highs. Okay, if we go to the NQ, which is NASDAQ futures, if we go to the weekly, we have the same scenario. Price swept the low here, and you see that bullishness coming. It's, the S&P is a little stronger. All right, you see that it was up here, not down here, but it could still head towards that as a buy side liquidity target. All right, we are closer to the all-time highs than the S&P is, as you can see. I don't know why you did all that. All right, but yeah, I'm looking for NASDAQ to move higher as well. If we look down at the daily, you can see it had this a very small fair value gap. All right, much smaller than the S&P, but it didn't use it either. So maybe price doesn't come all the way back there, and we might see the pullback. Sorry, you might see the pullback, and then we can go up higher to take out the buy side liquidity here, and this would be the next target, and that would be the target after that. All right, if we look at the so I'm bullish in both. All right, if we go to the Dow, all right, the Dow broke structure here, right? Broke bear, had a bearish break of structure here, and we closed below that low. All right, so this is a bearish leg of structure, just like we just went over, and I'm looking for price to find the area in which to an internal range liquidity in a fair value gap or a supply, an area of supply. But here's the deal here. This is the overall buy before the sell-off here. This is the overall supply. And price already touched into it, already tapped it, came down, broke, made new structure and all. And here we have this move coming right back to the high and took that structural high. So I am right now bullish in the the Dow. Sorry. All right, you see that it didn't use the fair value gap either. All right, left a breakaway gap down here. I think we will continue higher to take these highs out. All right, that's a long stretch, right? It could turn around at any point, for real, because it's a bearish leg. But price has shown us a bullish break of structure. So this becomes my protected low. I'm looking for price to pull back and then continue higher. All right. We'll see how it goes. But once it takes that high, I think these aren't going to be a big problem as price moves higher. You'll see. All right. Crude oil. If we go to the what is this? The weekly. All right. I am bullish short term. All right. Up until the Bank of Japan has a interest rate decision on Thursday, and you'll see how that affects the U.S. dollar, and then how and what impact that might have on oil. But short term, I'm bullish up until maybe Thursday, right? But with the Middle East coming to a peace deal, I'm looking for those prices to go lower, and that is going to be a longer term drop versus a short term these short term games. I think that we may target the buy side liquidity there, and here I didn't draw it in. All right, but those will be my first targets, and you see that we don't have any fair value gaps on the daily chart here, right? Bullish fair value gaps. We do have a breakaway gap down here. I'm thinking that price will find a reason to get higher before it gets down to this low. All right. If we go to the 4 hour, okay, you can see that we broke structure to the upside. So what do we have? We have that bullish leg I always talk about. All right. We have that. Why you have to show up right there. All right. I'm looking for price to pull back into an area of demand, and we get higher prices. But you see the initial reaction here. If we take the low here back into this demand, I'm thinking that we'll probably get higher prices after that. This is my protected low. Sorry. All right, this is my protected low here. As soon as that is violated, we're down here now. I'm thinking that once it violates that, I'm looking for price to push back into that bearish leg and continue down. But until that happens, I'm looking for higher prices. So we'll see about this leg here. Okay, and I think that's going to happen. Once we go past that, I'm looking for higher prices, honestly. Okay, let me stop hiding my stuff. All right, gold. If we go to gold and we go to the daily, I'm thinking that every time we come up here, every time we get to this level, all right, this level around here, I'm thinking that you can see the big drop. You can see the big drop. You can see the big drop. What do you see over here? We're at the same level. At the same level. Where's that big drop? Hasn't happened yet. Why? Because maybe we're not finished. Maybe it needs to take this high, which has been taken on the FX brokers, like the CFDs. You can see that high has been taken already. But on the futures, it has not. I'm looking for price to take that high. All right, just like this little arrow up here says. All right, hits this volume imbalance that you can see clearly on the weekly, which acts as a speed bump most of the time. It gives price a reaction point. That's all it is. All right, so I don't look at it as an area of supply or a water block or something. All right, so once it goes up there, I think that'll be, if I'm going to take a long, let me get rid of this. Come on, man. Oh, man. All right. If I'm going to take a long, I didn't mean to do that either. All right. If I'm going to take a long, I want to take it from down here. All right. I want to see price open, push down, and then give me some. Then give me a move to the upside here. Dang on it, man! I can't get rid of this thing. All right. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to move up from here. If it opens and it goes up here, then I'm looking for sells only. I want to sell this market. Make no mistake about it. I think that these lows are nothing but generated liquidity, and I think we're going to get a good sweep from there. All right, just like here, I'm looking for a strong push to the downside. All right, but I want that sweep of liquidity first. So if we buy, I can buy from here and stop, put my stop loss or my TP up here. Then I'll be looking for sells. But if it just goes straight from here, I'm not interested in taking buys from here. You understand? So I'll wait patiently for sells. If we go to silver, you see that silver is in between a bearish fair value gap, an older one, and a new bullish fair value gap. Now, price came up and into that fair value gap once already. This is the second time we took this high, all right, and pulled back. I'm looking for price to turn around. I am. I'm looking to see if price will turn around. It's at the midpoint of this range, all right, of this fair value gap. It is at the the 50% of it. I want to see if it respects it and pushes higher, all right, into this area of supply, all right, and then the drop. I'm bullish near term for gold. Once it takes this low, I am bearish. You understand? All right. I think this is a protected low because it took this high. All right. But I discount it because it happened in a fair value gap. So this thing could go either way. We're in the middle of it right now. I'm waiting patiently for things to develop. Okay. You got to wait till you see some market structure develop. All right. Price took this high out after making a higher low, took that high out. And here we are in the bullish leg. If we find support here, I would like to see price go up into this towards this high. This is an area of supply here, and I'm looking for a reaction. If I see a market shift from up here, I will happily take that sell for sure. All right. If we go to platinum, all right, platinum. I had everybody. I want to make sure you get this. I had everybody thinking, all my viewers anyway, not everybody. All right. We have a breaker with a fair value gap here. It violated this fair value gap. That's why you don't see it no more. But this one, it found support and broke these highs. I'm thinking that there's a good chance we may continue to the high. I am bullish in this metal in the near term. All right. If we go down to the 4-hour, you can see that we had to push down, and then we broke structure to the upside. This is a bullish leg. What am I saying? I said we wait until we get into an internal pool of liquidity, and we got internal range right there in that bullish fair value gap on the daily, and we broke structure to the upside. Again, I'm looking for price to pull back into this structure to find the internal range liquidity to continue higher. This area of supply, is not what is going to be a speed bump. But if we break it, oh yeah, I'll wait for the pullback and then take that buy. As long as we are in the discount of the range, below the 50% mark of the range, you take that. You take that all day. If you took your buy down here, my hat's off to you. All right. If we go to the last one, which is copper, all right. I want you to see if we can get to it quickly enough. All right, that copper is making higher lows. All right. Now we haven't reached that high yet. All right, and this failed swing high is a little concerning, but you can see prices holding on to the trend line. All right. I don't trade trend lines, so don't even think it. All right. But we did tap it and we did break structure to the upside. All right. That the price pushed up into it and came back and closed within the range of the previous candle. That is a bearish indication. So we could be using this fair value gap, the weekly fair value gap that's below it, to tap into and go higher. And I am tentatively bullish in this market. All right. If we go to the daily, China is encouraged by their economic shape right now, and this copper in their building industries is going to be huge for them. So I'm looking for price to possibly come down to the fair value gap and continue higher. This is a bullish fair value gap on the daily and the weekly embedded inside. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button and the boost, and I will see you in the next video. May profits be upon you.